Hello and welcome from Santiago, Chile. This is Will Terrell and I am working with Kamani Daniel, and we are creating a tool called SAID. SAID stands for Essay Identification, and also SAID because we are looking at all of the various documents that a given student would write in order to come up with a corpus of work that we could then use to judge whether or not another document was written by the same student. So here is our SAID.com website. It's a shell right now. We really wanted to get things just working, but the idea here is that you take a file, you drag it in here, and you get some feedback about the certainty of a given document, whether or not it's written by the same student as the rest of the documents that have been uploaded. So we've been concentrating on this end to make sure that we have something that works. But now that we know that we are able to go from the front end to the back end and we have a server that works, we really are going to spend a lot more time working on the predictive models at this point. So we were going to use Python and R to make decisions, but at this point we really think that we can do it all just using Python. As far as the database goes, looks like we're probably going to wait a little bit longer until we actually are going to fold that into the website. So this is the code, and what we've done is we have two different type of tests here. So the first one is that I'm using myself. I have a couple of PDF files that I've loaded, and the PDF files go into, I'm not going to run the code here, but I will run other code a little later on. But it takes all the PDF files, it converts them first into text so that we could work with something like T-Square, to then compare my writing style with a number of different authors. Additionally, I wanted to show a little bit about speeches from Bernie Sanders, from Hillary Clinton, and from Trump, just because I thought it was interesting to see how that kind of matched up. So after it goes into our program, you can see here, these are all the various features, and this is the actual output from our program. The various features that we use to be able to make a decision about the fingerprint or the right print that a given author has. And we are using things that are really subconscious in the way that an author uses them. Like, for example, semicolons and the mean word length. And you can even see that there is kind of a division. So Tolstoy uses, basically 6 words, 6.5 words for his mean word length, but Mark Twain uses something that's a little bit smaller. And it looks like I actually have something that's not too similar from Tolstoy. We also have the mean sentence length, we have the lexical diversity as well, but this is our way to try to get features that are not dependent on the type of writing that is taking place, so that it is very neutral as far as the topic goes. This is a data tree. Again, this is output from our program that shows how the decisions are being made by using the Gini impurity to be able to start to see what the cut points or the cutoff points are for various things. So obviously the mean word length of less than 5 or less than 6 would shove people into one direction so that it actually can do some classifying. So this is also an output from our program. You can see that I'm down here at the bottom, so that my lexical diversity is not as great as some like Shakespeare. And also my mean word length is less as well. But you can see how the clusters are formed in various areas. So it's very easy to look at someone like Mark Twain and to distinguish him from someone like me or someone from Shakespeare. It does seem, however, that Dickens and Tolstoy and Jane Austen, that there is some overlap here. Now, this is just using 2 of the many different features that we have, mean word length and lexical diversity, to make that decision. So, looking at the speeches, and this is actually a run-through of the program. So if I run the Stylo test speech, it is going to take a look at the different writings of Bernie Sanders, at Hillary Clinton, and Trump, to be able to show some cluster there. And what we saw was rather interesting because it actually, and this is the program that's running here, Actually, you can see that, that Trump is on the far right. Although, boy, the colors are very similar here. But this is Trump, and you can see that Hillary Clinton is here, and that Bernie Sanders is down in this area. So again, this is just using random speeches from the internet that I was able to download to show that there's some distinction between the two. However, a guess has not really been made as to who it is. And so Kamani actually has been working on this code here. And this code is using actual files that the students have made up until this point. And we took 10 different students, here are the different authors, and went through the same sort of analyses with lexical diversity, sentence length, etc. But we made one of them, Matthew Cohen, we made one sort of a dummy to see which one it actually would come up with. And now at the very end, these are the different guesses that we've been able to make. So the decision tree thinks that this Matthew Cohen actually is her writing style. But we can see that with the extra trees method, that we actually have a high probability. The extra trees method believes it's Matthew Cohen, but also believes that 1/10 of it is from Joseph Brooks. And the random forest thinks that Joseph Brooks is about 40% and Matthew Cohen is about 30%. So you can see there's still some work that we need to do as far as the back end goes, and this is where we're going to concentrate our efforts from this point forward. Anyhow, thank you very much for taking a little bit of time to join me, and please in the future check out sa-id.com for further developments. Thank you very much.